Salutations, spooks, spirits, and specters, and welcome back to Clannad, Kotomi's route, where Tomoya is going to do the only thing he knows best as a gift for Kotomi that will hopefully get her to come out and enjoy life again. I do believe. Anyway, it's 8 in the morning. I'm standing in front of Kotomi's house. I'm not going to school today, so I'm wearing my regular clothes. I press the doorbell. No answer. Well, whatever. She may have no intention of leaving the house, but she'll soon figure out what I'm doing out here. I'd better get started. Most of the garden is still in the shade. I step into the grass, dampening my pants with the morning dew. I startle a white butterfly near my feet and it flaps away over the roof. I stand next to the rusted garden table. I look around. I let out a sigh. Even in the morning sunlight, the garden looks like an uncivilized grassland. At least there are still some flowers left near the hedge. I set the chairs back on their feet and place them where they belong. This is how I express my determination. I take off my jacket and roll up my sleeves. My first task is weeding. I wrap my hands around the large weeds and uproot them. Their roots run deep, so it takes a lot of strength. I quickly start to sweat. As the sun rises higher, I can feel the back of my neck start to burn. I didn't realize it'd be this much work. Dude, it's lawn care, and this lawn is clearly, woo, and if you're doing it by yourself, it is no joke. My shirt is clinging to my back. My arms are all scraped up, and my fingertips are rubbing raw. I should have brought work gloves. I wipe at the sweat and curse my haphazard plan. I remember the garden always being beautiful, so I thought gardening was easy work. No, it's day-to-day care. You can't just, it's all about the maintenance. I mean, once it's good, it's good, but you have to remember to maintain it. In retrospect, considering how beautiful it was, it must have taken lots of work to maintain. Yep. What should I do now? There isn't much point in dealing with weeds unless I do something about the overgrown grass first. Oh, right. Something comes to mind, and I put the work on hold for now. I go around the side of the house. Next to a faucet is a shovel, a broom, and a manual lawnmower. Next to those is a small shed. I open the door. Just as I thought, lots of gardening tools are stored inside. Organized against the walls are shovels, a sickle, pesticides, chemicals, and even fertilizer. Hanging on the hook behind the door are 2 work smocks. Kotomi's parents must have used these. I pick up the sickle and see that the whole blade is red with rust. This is useless. I go for a pair of hedge clippers next. Its blades are also reddish brown, and it creaks when I try to use it. Looking around the shed again, I find a whetstone. I don't know how to properly sharpen anything, but it's better than nothing. I sit down in the shed and set the clipper blades against the stone. With my newly sharpened clippers, I return to the forest of weeds. Snip! It makes a heavier and wetter sound than cutting paper, and tufts of grass fall to the ground. This is much better. Now that the sun is all the way up, the temperature is also rising. I'm still working away with the clippers, hiding behind my own shadow. Good luck with that. I concentrate on the work, stopping only to wipe away my sweat. Yada yada yada. Clip, clip, clip. Snip, snip, snip. Work, work, work. The clippers seem to be dulling. I look up to see that it's already getting dark. Because I kept my face down the whole day, the reddish sun seems too bright to me. Oh, look at this. You can see the makings out of bricking here. I gaze at the sunset for a while. My back and arms feel heavy, as if filled with lead. My throat is completely dry. I look around at the result of the day's work. The conspicuous weeds are all gone, and about half of the lawn is cut. All of the refuse is collected in a corner of the garden. It looks much different from this morning, but I still don't feel any sense of accomplishment. Even though I worked the entire day, it's still far from the garden of my memory. I start to hear the sounds of nighttime insects. They seem louder than yesterday. You're gonna get this loud even after I cut so much down? I curse at them for no reason. The grass I spent so much energy cutting will just go back to the way it was in a few days. I stick the hedge clippers into the ground and wipe the sweat from my neck. There's still tomorrow. I say that to psych myself up, but my voice is drowned out by the insects. Tomorrow, huh? I look at Kotomi's house, rising in the dim light. The dark glass that blocks off the living room is as unchanging as a mural. There's still no light coming from the second floor. It must be pitch black inside. I looked around once more. Interspersed among the erratically overgrown grass are patches of darkness. Evil thoughts are crawling out. I came to this garden numerous times as a child. Even after listening to Kotomi's story, I don't remember very much from back then. It's like some dark red scab blocks my memory. Do I even want to remember? So what if I do remember? It won't bring anything back. My younger self is nowhere to be found. Kotomi's happiness is nowhere to be found either. I might only be doing this for my own satisfaction. It might be completely meaningless. But of course we are going to keep going. I shake my head and psych myself up. Don't waste time thinking about things like that. As long as I finish the job, something will change. Except, I have a hard time believing that right now. I stand in the grass and watch as the sun sets. Oh, wow. Already, huh? I'm at Kotomi's house holding an armload of tools. This time I came prepared. White paint, paint thinner, rust-proofing chemicals, a paintbrush, a wire brush, sandpaper. I was at the paint store at 8 in the morning buying all of this stuff. I said I wanted to paint a garden chair, and the clerk told me what I needed and how to do it. Of course, this time I prepared a change of clothes and work gloves. I thought about everything when I got home last night, and I made up my mind. No more indecision. I'll do everything I can. The steps I'm taking are that important. That's what I've decided to believe. The garden is just as I left it yesterday. Naturally, one night isn't enough for the grass to get overgrown again. But looking at it with fresh eyes, I can tell what a terrible job I'm doing. I have to do everything properly if I want to finish in time for Kotomi's birthday, which is 2 days away. I move the chairs and table to a corner of the garden. I assess the table's condition. In my memories, it's painted bright white. The table's paint is now flaking off and rust is everywhere. Exposed metal is showing in lots of places. I take the wire brush and scrape off the large patches of rust. Smaller patches of rust get the sandpaper. When the bare metal starts to appear, I apply the rust-proofing chemicals. I'm completely immersed in the work. It takes me about an hour to finish rust-proofing the table. While it dries, I start on a chair. I initially thought these would be easier because they are smaller, but their complicated shape makes them even harder to deal with. The second chair gets the same treatment with the sandpaper before I finish rust-proofing it. And as the timer has forewarned, I shall be ending the video here. So thank you all very much for watching, and ciao for now. Ciao for now.